President Trump delaying the release of the Democrats' FISA rebuttal memo, requesting it be revised due, of course, to national security concerns. GOP Congressman John Ratcliffe has seen the Democrats' memo, along with all of its underlying sources, including the FISA applications. He joins us now to weigh in. Congressman, thanks for being here. So, was it a smart move based on national security for this White House to say, let's be careful about this Democratic memo and make sure it doesn't violate any national security concerns?
It was. The White House is just following the advice of the Department of Justice and the FBI. When the president sent back the letter to the House Intelligence Committee saying that there need to be redactions for sources and methods, national security concerns, and law enforcement concerns, those were coming from the Department of Justice and the FBI, who identified dozens of those concerns. So,
Congressman, you've seen not only the Democratic memo, but also the underlying source documents for the FISA applications that are at issue here. When this memo is released, redacted or otherwise, will it contradict what the Republicans, Devin Nunes, put out in their memo?
It won't. In fact, it'll confirm the most important points. To understand what's in the Democratic response memo, you have to understand what's not in it. And what's not in it is a representation that the FISA court was ever told that Hillary Clinton paid for the dossier that was used to spy on a Trump campaign associate. They weren't told that Christopher Steele was desperate and passionate about preventing Donald Trump from becoming president. And the FISA court also wasn't told that that same Christopher Steele had a personal relationship with the #4 lawyer at the Department of Justice, Bruce Orr, and his wife, Nellie Orr, who did the research for the dossier at Fusion GPS. Those are all facts that should have been disclosed to the FISA court and never were. So the Democratic memo can't contend that. Instead, what it does say is that, well, the court was told about politically motivated actors, and they were directed to footnotes that had very convoluted explanations about funding sources. And the Democrats argue that the court should have been able to put this puzzle together. But that really reflects that they don't understand what the obligation is for an officer of the court before a FISA proceeding, an ex parte proceeding, which is for full disclosure. The court's not supposed to have to figure it out. They are to be expressly told before you try and take away someone's civil liberties.
So the hypocrisy of the left, every time they're exposed, there's a new explanation. The new explanation now is that Christopher Steele is a rogue agent. He was just doing his own thing with no direction from anyone else. Based on what you've seen, was there collusion and coordination with Democrats and Christopher Steele, or was he going rogue?
Well, we know that the FBI and the Department of Justice ultimately did terminate the relationship with Christopher Steele because he wouldn't follow the rules and the guidelines with respect to providing them with information. We've, of course, subsequently learned that there are Democrats that have tried to coordinate with Christopher Steele. And so, you know, I don't know the details of the Democratic efforts to get in touch with him, but we do know that Christopher Steele was not a reliable source, and as a result, he provided an unverified dossier that the court relied upon to issue a warrant to spy on an American citizen.
We know that spying occurred, Congressman, briefly. We only have about 15 seconds. Is this the beginning of this scandal, or are we at the end? Where are we on the timeline of the exposure of this?
You know, unfortunately, Chris, much more, Pete, unfortunately, much more to come. I've had the chance to see all of the underlying documents. When the Inspector General report comes out, it's going to identify some more anomalies and things that have happened at the Department of Justice and the FBI that unfortunately are going to make this story continue for some time.
That's an important reminder. The Inspector General's report still due out from the Department of Justice. A lot of what we've learned so far has come from that as well. Representative John Ratcliffe, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.